Hello everyone, welcome to another CKA preparation video. In this video, I will try to explain the authentication and authorization in Kubernetes. We can expect questions from this topic in the CKA exam. So let's get started. Um, the main method of authentic means access control in Kubernetes is role-based access control. Okay, so I will be explaining the authentication and authorization, and how does authentication work in Kubernetes using certificates, and the authorization part, and also a quick demo. So here we have the client application, that is a kubectl, and we have a Kubernetes cluster which has a control plane. This is the main component, the kube API server, which is handling the authentication and authorization. So first we request access to a resource in Kubernetes. Then first of all, the API server will verify whether the certificate is valid, and it see what which is the user requesting the access. Then it will check any role binding is available for this particular user. So the user, actually there is no Kubernetes object for a user. It will see the common name in the certificate and it will consider it as a user. Then it will try to get the role binding. That means the um, connection with a role for that particular user, whether it is available or not. If such a role binding is not available, it will just give back an error message to the client application. If the role binding is available, it will check which is the role associated to the role binding. So in this role, all the permissions are defined, and it will match whether the requested resource access is allowed for the or this particular user using this role. If this particular role is not available for this user, it will again throw some error to the client application. If permission is already available with the role, it will give access to the user, and it will give the result back to kubectl. So that is the basic working of RBAC in Kubernetes. Now we will see the demo. So first of all, we will create a role and a role binding for a test user. Okay, the role is created now. Now we will create a role binding for this particular role. Okay, let it be a test user Suraj. Okay, we are creating a role binding named Suraj role binding, which uses the role Suraj role and user Suraj. This user actually doesn't exist as of now. Kubernetes won't create any object for a user. It will just authenticate the common name which is present in the certificate with the username assigned to the role binding. Then next step is to create a certificate signing request, get it approved by the Kubernetes. Then Kubernetes will be creating a certificate for that user. That certificate we have to use it in the kube config in the client side for the authentication. So we are going to create a CSR. Okay, first of all, we have to create a key, and using that key, we have to create a CSR, that is certificate signing request, and we have to create a CSR object in the Kubernetes, get it approved from the Kubernetes admin. Once it is approved, we will get a certificate out of that. That certificate we have to use in the kube config. That is the workflow we have to follow. So here, first we are creating a key. Then we are creating a CSR out of this key. Okay. Now this common name. This is very important. So the name we have given is Suraj. So here, exact same name I have to give. Email address. If you want a password, you can give. Otherwise, no. Okay. So here we have these two, the key and the CSR available. Okay. Now I'm going to create a CSR object in the Kubernetes. So this is the format. Okay. First, we have to encode our CSR. Okay, doing that here. Yeah, this is the encoded. Okay. Okay, this is the YAML file for certificate signing request. Here we will give a proper name. So this is our now. The certificate, the CSR encoded string we have to copy and paste. That's it. We will save the file. Now, okay, apply -f. So it's CSR. Yeah, it's created. So the CSR is created. Now I am going to approve that. Yeah, this is the CSR. We have pending, you can see it is pending approval. So I'll upload that. Yeah, sorry. Approve storage CSR. Yeah, it's approved. Now we have to get the certificate. In an approved CSR, Kubernetes saves the certificate at a status.certificate field. Okay, storage CSR. Storage cert. I am saving it to storage cert. Okay, so storage certificate is available here. Now we have to create. We have to apply this in the kubeconfig. Okay, see, for adding to kubeconfig, we can apply this command. Storage cert, storage key, credentials. For storage user, we are applying all these things. User storage is set. Okay. Next, we have to have the context for this user. Cluster is Kubernetes. Okay. Set context storage context. Okay, context is also created. Next, we will use the context. Yes. Now, I will try to access some ports. There's no ports. I will create some ports. I am able to view the ports. If I try to access the nodes, we will see what is happening. See, I am getting an error as this user. So this user has these permissions in this Kubernetes. It has permission to apply port. That's it.